I mean, surprisingly, a lot of well-established companies um, don't have really good mission statements, right? And it's just because of the nature of it, because of this completely different paradigm. Back in the day, we don't have companies that do last, more than 15 years, like Coca-Cola or Nike, and they could have a very very vague mission statements. But in today's world, companies even like Amazon or Uber or a lot of companies are rebranding and rethinking about their mission statement and what they want to do and how they want to present themselves to the world. And with us, and with the other startups that I work with to help them to come up with their mission statement, the most important question to ask is why do we need to exist and why are we still relevant in 5 years from now? Or even 2 years from now. With Crowded, we say 1 year. In a year from now, how are we creating value for customers? Why do we exist as an organization? And the one thing I tell a lot of startups is that stay away from all these like vague kind of terminology and words that sound really nice, but at the end of the day, it doesn't inspire your team, it doesn't inspire your engineers to come to work thinking about that. So at CrowdRiff, we say that we are building the world's most powerful visual marketing platform. It's something that will never end. There's no plateau to that. Like we have to keep innovating, we keep working hard to get closer to that. But at the end of the day, it's not something that can be accomplished in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a quarter or a year. It's we have to keep working on it, and even though we set it for a year, we know that it takes a long time and to get there. And the beauty of that is that it helps us to, when we're looking at our strategic goals, to keep coming back to that mission statement. And the best way to get it right is again by iterating on it. We've changed our mission statement like multiple times with the startups I work with. We changed it multiple times, and the iteration process is that when you start thinking about your company's strategic goals and your company's objectives and key results, you can think about your mission statement and ask yourself, does it still make sense? Does this mission statement align with what we are really doing as a business, not what we want to do, what we're actually doing, and that's the direction we're taking. So the best way, probably the first time people don't get it right, like none of the companies that I work with, they got it right the first time. It was about iterating on it and rethinking about mission statement every time we set up new OKRs. And I'm proud if it took us 3 iterations. By the third time, we had a mission statement that we haven't changed since then. But yeah, it's something that I know companies like spend days doing, having like tons and tons of meetings, long meetings, or doing offsites to figure out their mission statement, and they come back thinking they got it all figured out. But realistically, it's back to the MVP mentality. Come up with something. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a mission statement that you think makes sense right now. Develop the strategic goals, develop the OKRs, come back to it next. And then at that point, ask yourself, does this make sense? If it doesn't, change your mission statement and rethink about the strategic goals and OKRs. And next quarter, see if it's still relevant, still makes sense. So yeah, that one is also all about iteration, I would say. Right. So vision statement is really interesting because the way mission statement, we don't really use vision statement, something that usually like lasts up to 5 years. You're really focusing on thing that where do you think a company is going to be in 5 years, 6 years? And that's okay to think about, where you want the company to be in 4 years or 5 years. But we don't find it as relevant in today's world because where you want the company to be in 5 years can be very different next year. And it's a new paradigm, right? I've read tons of books, business books about it, and they're all great. They got the fundamentals right, but the new paradigm that we're living in requires a different way of thinking and a different way of evaluating things. And so I would say it really comes down to, focusing on mission statement. Having a vision statement is great, and we do have one. Every time we onboard new employees, we walk them through it, and our CEO and I talk to our team over and over again about our vision statement. But at the end of the day, when it comes to strategic planning and strategic execution, it's all about our mission. And our mission is usually like, where do we see ourselves in a year? That typically can be 3 years, can be 5 years, but realistically, what are we trying to do? What are our OKRs are contributing to? What is this end goal that we have for the year? And that's our mission statement for the just for the product team.